producer, I knew her, she worked with me on some other projects. And she came up with this idea and she pitched me the idea and I was immediately game for it. Because we don't make films like that in India. Everybody is making a short, filmmakers coming together trying to do something for something, which means something. We're not used to that. So it was a great idea and I immediately jumped on board. And I sat down with her and made a list of directors. And in the first list, we did not put his name because we never thought he would say yes. Because he's like too huge. But then he came in and joined in and pulled our level up.
What he means is that, Karan is kind of, the strongest commercial Bollywood presence there is, and we were doing something slightly left of center, slightly independent, slightly interesting, and we all were wondering whether Karan would actually even want to be a part of it. But the secret is, and you should tell them, about how you played hard to get while actually you were wanting to get it so badly.
So I actually was like hoping that they would ask me. And when they did, I said if I immediately agree, it will look like I was too eager. So I just made this whole kind of a day or two to think. I spoke to Zoya. I knew Anurag was involved. I didn't know Dibakar, and he had ignored me once at a social event. So I didn't know if I was really sure to associate myself with him. But then finally when I told her when it came down to like whether I should do it or not, I was always dying to, because I really wanted to be part of this I would believe really talented group of filmmakers, and I just felt that it would be great to come on board and do something unusual. And I'm a big fan of each one of their personal and individual work, and it's turned out to be like, I think more than the cinematic journey of it, I think it's turned out to be the most fun we've had at the movies. Mine is really about a marriage, a troubled marriage as a result of the man's repressed sexuality, and how a young boy walks into this marriage and changes their emotional dynamics. And it ends with a kind of a sad but a commentary on what the lack of truth can do to destroy the, I would say, the essence of a relationship. So mine is really basically that's the plot. And there's a layer of old Hindi film music that runs right through the narrative, which kind of binds the film together.
See, all of us were kind of had a common dream that let's do something around cinema. And in India, when you talk about cinema, you do really talk about the common man, because the common man is really intimately connected to cinema in India. The relation is far different from what it is of a human being in the West. So cinema is far more important to us. So when I heard about this project, I remember this story written by Satyajit Ray, one of the most famous filmmakers from India of all time. And he is actually also a very big writer of fiction for young adults. And I had read it when I was a 13-year-old boy, and it kind of haunted me forever. It's about a guy, a kind of a defeated guy who everybody takes for a loser one day in his life. And it's about the highlight of his day, where he is actually suddenly almost shanghaied into doing a walk-on part on a film set, on a film shoot that's happening in Bombay. And he is up against Bollywood's biggest star. And it's his one moment and one shot at that moment of glory, of that fame. And it's about how it redefines his life in certain ways. And it's just about that one day. It's not something huge, which is what all short films or short stories are most, should be about. And I felt that it was a very nice comment on how cinema is much, much bigger and stands for something much bigger in the common Indian's life. So that's why.
He just plugged his last movie. I'll plug my film. My film is about a gang, so what's the Korean guy who gets ugly into a situation. My film is about a guy who's obsessed with Amitabh Bachchan, and how he is on a journey to fulfill his father's wish to get Amitabh Bachchan to bite into this kind of a delicacy, North Indian delicacy. So the father can have the rest of it, and that for him would become like
nectar.
Would become like the nectar of
life. We know how to party. We can teach the world how to party.
No, and there's one big, very important thing that the Indians can teach the rest of the world. And that is that when Indians see films from the rest of the world, they know this film is coming from where and they see it in that perspective. My complaint is the rest of the world doesn't see our film in that perspective.